Hello, ITPC. This is Steve, and you're watching Smoking Cardboard. I am smoking some Exhausted Rooster from C&D, Cornell and Deal, in a Fallon Lavat. This was one of these pipes that I bought on Smoking Pipes EU, uh, and for whatever reason, they're a lot cheaper there. I can't remember, but something like €100. I don't know. It's a great pipe for that. Uh, Exhausted Rooster is an old favorite. I just really like the blend. The flavor is kind of unique. Virginia Burley. I think there's some dark fired in there, and I just like it. It's one that more so than others agrees with my palate, with not being quite so irritating, which I feel like is a little bit more rare for the C&D blends. They seem to irritate me more than not, so it's cool that I can enjoy this one. I just had filled up a bowl in this bad boy, trying per George Jensen's new bulk blends that he's making for mixing. And I was most excited about the Burley because I thought it would be, he said it's pretty similar to H.H. Burley and all that, which I really like. Um, but man, just even a couple puffs in, it was like, yep, I can tell I can't smoke this. This hurts. So I don't know what it is. It seems like, I know that's made through Sutliff. Sutliff stuff, they put stuff on it that's not good for me. So, anyway, it's a bummer. So I have a lot of stuff I was going to talk about. It's going to be probably real boring. I always get pretty encouraged coming back from a pipe show to talk about a lot of different topics because there are topics that came up during the pipe show that's like, oh, this is an interesting conversation. I should continue that on a channel for everybody. But I'm not doing any of that today per se. Um, so I did make it to the Chicago Pipe Show, and this is the first time I've been to the Chicago Pipe Show. They're normally in May when I have other obligations, but this year they weren't, so it worked out. And yeah, so I drove down. The pipe show was kind of like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but the show was only Saturday and Sunday. And I drove down after work on Friday. Tried to get there. It's about 4.5 hour drive for me there. And I got there and checked in and figured out all that parking stuff. Then I kind of wasn't sure where the check-in was because there was a check-in table, but it looked like there was no one there. So I was like, oh, I missed it. But then I ran into JB Afternoon Pipes or some some channel name like that. And it was great. He showed me around and saw Kirk um, in the tent. I got to spend some good time talking with him. Met some other um, new people. I was kind of surprised on a Friday night that like YTPC people. I did see Greg. It was great to see Greg. Gave me one of his honest lighters. I really appreciated that. Thanks, Greg. Great meeting you. Um, yeah. Where was I? Oh, I was talking about. I mean, honestly, compared to the other conventions I've been to, it seemed like there was not very many YTPC people there, which I was kind of surprised by. And I think a big part of that was because there was a lot of people that are pretty local, and so they're kind of at home and coming to the various parts when they decide to come. So I think that, and then the others were just, I don't know, um, off doing stuff. Um, so I think that was, in general, a bit of uh, disappointment compared to other pipe shows. Is that the amount of time spent with solid friendships that I built through this community was very much diminished compared to other shows. Other shows like Vegas, um, there's been a great number of people that it's been a lot of fun to hang out with. Muletown, there's just so many YTPC people there. Um, and so it was a little bit more um, hanging out with um, maybe other people that weren't even in the YTPC, which is fine too. But man, I'm not at a pipe show to buy things. I'm not there to collect pipes. I'm not there to find something, not at all. I am only there to see relationships, um, see people that I build relationships with. So it's a little bit hard to connect with some of these people. That's why they're there is to um, they're either there to build relationships or continue building relationships that they have, or they're there to collect pipes and all this sort of stuff. So anyway, oh my gosh, I keep making a mess here, breathing in my pipe. So, um, oh shoot, where did I put that? Oh, here it is. Since Kirk mentioned it on his channel, he had a present for me. He gave me this, I guess, dirty Packers football. Uh, and he gave it to me in such a time that I ended up being stuck carrying this thing around. There was like a cocktail hour on Friday. That was great. Got to see some more um, YTPC people and talk with them. That was nice. But I was sitting there holding this football the whole time. That's so silly. Got some event pictures with me holding this football. Yeah. Anyway, I met John. I can't remember all these channel names. It was great to meet John. Met um, Bob. Uh, Man, I can't remember channel names right now. Bob was not happy to be there. Poor Bob. We met him, and he looked like he had gotten in a verbal disagreement with somebody or something. I don't know. It was early Saturday morning. He was ready to leave. Um, and I uh, got to see good friend Gary Old in the Way. It was great seeing him. And other guys. It was just good to see him. And then Jay Mouton. Um, we actually, so I, so Saturday or Friday, I ate on my way, or I ate before leaving. And then I ate some appetizer stuff on that cocktail hour, which was cool. They had like legitimate appetizers. But I didn't eat any supper. Um, right when I get there, some guys were leaving to go eat somewhere, but it was like, oh yeah, you have to drive, and I was like, I have no idea where I'm going. I'm not following. I'm not gonna try to drive right now. I just got there and rush hour traffic. Oh, that's it's tough for me, unless I'm just following the GPS. So, uh, so basically, I had a couple appetizer Friday night, and then Saturday, I didn't eat any breakfast. I'm walking the show floor, and I just kind of didn't want to go sneak away to do lunch because I was like, well, at some point, some guys will eat, and those are always really good opportunities to like sit and talk with people from the YTPC. But that seemed to be a fleeting idea. I was trying to do something. Oh yeah, Peter, saw him too. Um, and so by supper time, like 6 o'clock, or no, it's 5 o'clock. I was like, all right, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do supper with anybody from YTPC. I'm not finding anybody. I just gotta eat something. Like I haven't eaten anything since Friday yesterday. But then I saw Jason and I was like, oh, he's been sitting the show all day. He's gotta be hungry. And he was. And I was gonna um, try to eat with him at a restaurant, Gibson Steakhouse, which apparently is I knew it's going to be a nice restaurant, but apparently kind of out of our league, especially our clothes. So he saved me an embarrassment there. So he had picked out some place we went to, another place. It was like seafood, and um, it ended up being a little bit more expensive than we thought because it was one of those meals where you uh, pay for like every little thing separately. And it was funny because um, so we went together and we get there. It's not very far, but I drove. And we get there and you're like, oh, there's a valet. And then you're like, oh, there's only like really high end cars out in front of this place. This is probably not the cheapest thing in the world. You walk in and then there's a live um, person singing and playing music. And you're like, okay, this is definitely not going to be a cheap meal. But it was super awesome to get to spend time with Jason. Um, I've gotten to spend good time with him in the Vegas shows and stuff, and he's just awesome guy. And the food was fantastic. It was super, super delicious. Like, it made you want to just keep trying things. Uh, because everything was like, it's gonna be good. You're gonna eat it, and you're gonna love it. It's so good. It was having me eat stuff that I traditionally don't like. So that's how you know. Anyway, so that was awesome to get to eat with Jason, spend some time with him. Um, yeah, and then so that was Saturday, and then later that Saturday met Kirk and his two new friends. We went. I talked him into going out and getting beer somewhere else because I mean, in Chicago, there's so many good breweries, but they weren't serving any of the good beer at the venue. Like everything was like Modelo or Miller Lite or whatever. Not the good beer. And it was like $12, $14 for a beer. So I was like, well, let's just walk to the place. There's something 15 minutes away. We don't even have to drive. And that was a good time. Getting to hang out with those guys. They were great. Um, definitely a lot of fun. And then Sunday morning, uh, walking around the show again. Shows are just incredibly awkward for me, the show floor. You see all these people who have worked so hard to be at the show, paid so much money to be at the show, trying to sell pipes, and I have zero intention to buy any of their pipes. For starters, none of them are filtered, and if they are filtered, you get like one choice. And if that choice doesn't work with me, then too bad. Second of all, I've spent all this money to get to the show. I don't have money to like buy stuff at the show. um, I just, especially this year, paying for all these kids' braces, I really don't have extra funds. So, um, it's kind of depressing walking around there because you're like, man, I want to buy all these guys' pipes. I want to support them and I want to, um, whatever. But if I stop at anybody's table, they're going to try to build a relationship with me. And they're going to try to do that because that's a really good way to sell pipes is build connection. Uh, there's so many people that are buying pipes because that maker is right there and they have connection with them. But as soon as I say I'm a 9 mil smoker, it pretty much shuts down any conversation you're going to have. If anything, it makes it a horrible drill down. Why in the world would you be a 9 mil smoker? Why would someone do that? Uh, it probably means you just don't know how to smoke a pipe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just go down the line. So I try to avoid all that. Get into it, you know, still constantly in that show. It's so annoying. You know, walk by a cigar vendor. Oh, you want cigars? No, I can't smoke cigars. Why not? I get all puffy in my mouth if I smoke a cigar. Oh, that's not good. No, not good. So, uh, yeah. So I was hoping to kind of find a meerschaum, and there were a lot of meerschaums there, and there were 9 mil meerschaums there, but none of them called out to me. And again, I didn't have the funds anyways to buy anything. That said, I still bought some stuff. I bought some tobacco. There was a guy that was selling tobacco from a tobacconist that closed, like some extra one. So he had some 2 tins of these Dunhill Flake, which I bought. I thought they were a reasonable price. They were like 40 bucks a piece, which is a lot, but not a lot for a tobacco that's old and in a tin you can't get anymore. You can still get this tobacco, but and then I got one of my favorite blends, or in the top, Wessex Classic Virginia. This I only paid $10 for, and I just really like that blend. And then I got Astley's number 44. Now this one is a really hard tin to find. It's like a dark Virginia. What do they say? It says it's an English flake. Okay. English is such a weird term in pipe tobacco, but it says it's dark Virginia, Perique, and Kentucky. Yeah, you can definitely get the Kentucky in that and dark Virginias. It's just a really good blend. Super hard to find. Um, so I got that for $10. So that was an easy. Yep, I'm buying that. And then that's all I think I got. Oh, I bought a shirt from Grunwald Pipes. Um, Pipes of Old. I like having shirts from other people. YTPC. But yeah. Anyway, Sunday I came back. Um, I had to be back for Bible study that night, so I really didn't want to stay too late. It was hard enough trying to find people to connect with, where I was just kind of walking circles, not doing anything, so I just left. But I did also um, get a pipe from, I'm going to screw this up. I'm so bad at saying names. Gugliano Spitali or whatever from the UK. I'll have a link to his channel. But I bought this, I call this a pot, I think, ish type thing. 9 mil pipe with some cool silver work and rustication. Haven't smoked this yet, but I'm looking forward to that. Um, I've also bought previously from him one of his tampers. He's a jeweler by trade, so he makes some cool stuff. And I use this thing all the time when I'm inside. I don't take it outside because I don't want to drop it and ding it. Um, but I also asked him, hey, can you give me a pouch of the Condor Ready Rub? And he was like, totally. So that was awesome because this stuff you can't get here. It's hard to get. It's hard to get. You can't get a retailer to ship it to you or anything like that. Um, and it's tasty. I um, would have been 2 years ago now. I opened a pouch that I had for a bit and I smoked the whole thing. That whole pouch was just fantastic. It is very similar to a Gawith Hogarth um, Lakeland type blend. It's very great. Very good, great, whatever. All right. Um, Looking at my notes. I tried to take notes because there was so much stuff I knew I'd forget it all. Essentially, I made this video last week twice, and the audio was horrible. And it's probably for the best that I had to remake it. Lester uh, mentioned that he's shutting down his channel, not able to smoke pipes, drink. Um, totally get anybody that has to walk away from something like this for health reasons. Um, real, really bummed that he feels like he has no purpose for his channel anymore. Because I would really like to continue to see him. Hopefully, there's a way I can stay connected with him, not through YouTube. Um, just been a long time supporter of my channel. I think we probably started making videos about the same time. He sent me some lovely stuff early on when I started making a channel. And I just appreciate him so much, and um, just who he is. So I really wishing him the best and want to make note of that because he couldn't leave a comment on his video, so figure I'd leave it here if he sees it. Um, other stuff going on. I really haven't been smoking much. I have some uh, neglected uh, sores in my mouth that I'm trying to let heal because of condition I have. It takes forever. So I think right now, until that's all healed up, I'm probably smoking as often as I'm making videos right now, and that's just intentionally. So I think that is for just a period of time, and I look forward to uh, feeling out what's best for me and how frequently I smoke my pipe. But um, yeah, that's an update on that. Also, because we're gonna get in the weeds here, I've been having to really get into fixing some things lately. The other day, my wife texts me and says, "Hey, the garage door is throwing errors. It's not opening." Um, I figured maybe it was offset or something was wrong. Well, it turned out one of the springs broke, and this was the torsion springs, the ones that go above the door. And I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I know that replacing those springs is can be kind of dangerous. There's a lot of force that gets built up with those things. But I also kind of knew that, so I figured I'd be all right. I get it. There's a tag on the garage door that says like the springs and the weight of the door and all this sort of stuff. Well, where I'm getting my springs, I can't get the exact same springs, so I just go off the weight on the tag of the door to get the springs. Well, I get back, put the springs on, and whole mess ensues. Partly because I'm not understanding exactly how um, these garage doors work. I know now. I know now. Yes, I believe I could install garage doors and fix them and do this sort of stuff now. So I went through a whole learning process where I had way too strong springs on there because the weight on that tag that said how much this door weighed was wrong. Um, and so I spent a long time that day trying to undo a mess that I made, and then go buy the right springs. And hey, if you get the right springs for the weight of your door, it works way easier. Shocker. Um, so yeah, that was an exciting day. That was a little bit stressful. And then the other day, I was driving down the road and someone was like waving me down, and I I think I uh, socially profiled this person to thinking they wanted trouble. So I was trying to ignore them, thinking there was a little bit of road rage going on. um, he just wasn't driving a nice car. He looked like someone who might be uh, a user of some not necessarily legal drugs. Anyway, he drove back down next to me, had me roll down my window. He was like, "Hey, your rear wheel is like wobbling." And I was just like, "Oh man." I feel so bad that I was uh, he was trying to help me, and I was thinking he was trying to cause trouble. So, a good example of, uh, I mean, it's good to be safe, but at the same time, I should have given him the benefit of the doubt, uh, which I didn't do. So eventually, he told me, and I found out. Okay, well, I know I switched my winter tires recently, but when I got out of the car, like the wheel's on there, like it's not like lug nuts are loose or anything. Like this thing is on there. Why is this wobbling? I take it off and keep putting it, like loosening the bolts at home and putting it back on, and it's still like it is wobbling. It was not on right. Talked to our mechanic, which now we've become kind of better friends because they were so helpful with the Ukraine family. And he was like, "Yeah, you need to do the exact thing that I did," and that wasn't fixing it. So then eventually I had an epiphany. Hey, there's probably something between my wheel and the car. And sure enough, there was like a piece of plastic in there that was not letting it seat flat. So got that fixed. But I get kind of frustrated with some of that stuff that I can't diagnose that faster because uh, I'm not able to make the right assumptions. A mechanic can make much better assumptions than I can. Um, but I was kind of not able to come to that conclusion until I made the assumption that my wheel is not wrong and I have a new car and the car is not wrong. So it's got to be something between those two, and that's when I found the issue. So it's kind of interesting, you know, our ability to problem solve is um, very much limited by our assumptions. And the better and more accurate your assumptions can be, the better you're going to solve that problem. And I think that's very applicable to a lot of areas in our life. I'm thinking about my kids especially. Uh, I make a lot of assumptions, and a lot of them are built out of a long-standing relationship I've had with them. But or that guy that was driving by, I was seeing him trying to wave me down be a problem um, that I was trying to fix with wrong assumptions. It's just a good reminder to um, to get better at challenging your assumptions, and uh, the better your assumption, uh, like more accurate your assumptions are, the better decisions you're gonna make. Anyway, this is way too long. Um, I appreciate everyone that I got to see at the pipe show. I missed seeing some other people like Adam and Doug. I thought maybe they would stop by, or um, some other people. Uh, I thought Sam might be there, different stuff. So, and uh, I just wish I would have gotten to spend more time um, with a number of people that I just wasn't able to. I honestly, I don't. I would be surprised if I'll be able to go next year. Um, we'll see, but I think pipe shows are great. Definitely should go to them. Um, had a lot of fun. And anyway, I'm gonna try to enjoy this rest of the smoke before uh, I have to go do things today. I get to have some fun playing some board games, which I love, and in a couple weeks, I get to go to a board game convention that I just love to do. So, anyway, we'll talk to y'all later. Happy smokes. Bye, guys.